Well, hello everyone. Welcome to your journaling prompt social for this month. This is prompt social number one. There's going to be three this month. I think I'm doing the first one and the third one, and then the one that's next will be, I think it might be Maya. I'm not sure. Anyway, hello. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your facilitator tonight, who's on screen as we look at those integrity journal prompts, which are on page 14. I have some really great questions for you to consider as you approach your pages, just, facilitating you along. So I'll be in front of the camera, and then hanging in the chat is Malika, and that's my co pilot tonight. There's always two of us on these calls. And yeah, here we are. So I'm laughing so hard. Nikki talked about eating trauma yogurt. Yeah, it's the naughty foods that we shouldn't eat, but we kind of feed our souls. So I said I had some trauma M&Ms earlier. I love that. We're going to do the integrity journal prompts. I have a pretty fun opening um activity for you. And then you may have already started your bingo because, we're sort of several days into the month. I'll encourage you to hang out though, because I do have some fun ideas or some suggestions, because we can also utilize some of those bingo ideas maybe in our weekly setup in a certain way. I always repurpose my shopping list to a little mini bingo for the week. So perhaps something that you'll see at the end will speak to you. So if you can hang out, we'd love for you to hang out. So set your chat to everyone. That's how we will share. And of course, everybody's saying, hey, 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 hey. You're seeing your connections, all those the Sonder family members who love to come to socials and love this part of the whole Silk and Sonder journey, this community. But if there is anybody new here for the very first time, you're like, ooh, I'm going to go check and see what this social thing is about, just put a me in the chat, because those of us who are here all the time would love to welcome you. And then I'll encourage each of you to go and post, something about your time tonight in Sonder Club, just to maybe, let other folks know about this thing called a social. Also, this is being recorded, and so you'll be able to rewatch, or if you hear someone else say, I missed it, did it, was it, you can tell them, yes, it was. A lot of you have said that you've been doing just monthly and weekly, and it's been a bit since your schedule aligned with the journaling social. So I always wish we could do a couple of these for each one, because I love them. We love the journaling prompts. I tend to do better when I'm hanging out with y'all and can, do it along with you. Okay, so when we gather together, we do share these community guidelines. You've seen them before if you've been here. If you are new, you're going to see these just as that reminder to you that this is a very safe space. We don't do promotions or spams, and of course, no bullying. And then just that reminder to take what you need. Number seven is so important. These socials, these gatherings are a tool to elevate your emotional health through the power of community, and a community we are. We have shown up for each other. I always say we're virtual, but we're real. But always remember you're responsible for your own emotions, well-being and decisions. And just wanted to remind everybody that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so you are here working on yourself and getting to know yourself better and why you do the things you do. And so kudos for you for embracing mental health awareness by carving out this time for yourself. Yeah, no bullying. I love that, Nikki. So of course, new theme this month is integrity, and this is my little guidepost for the month. It's like integrity for me is living your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. It's kind of like that self-check. Like if I'm doing the right thing, I wouldn't mind it being a universal law. So that's kind of mine. I think with integrity for me, there's a whole lot of guilt involved. Like, You should, integrity is what you do when no one is watching, and that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, so we're going to dig into this integrity page tonight, and I've got it broken down so we can take our time. And really consider some ponderings as we approach the questions on page 14. We're actually going to do a couple of things. We're going to do a grounding activity first, then we'll jump into our opening activity. And then we'll work on those journal prompts. And then I have those create your own bingo ideas. So, are you excited about a bingo sheet in our journal? I always love the full page bingo sheet. I think they're so much fun. And if it's blank and you think you might want one every month, maybe go make a quick copy of it on your scanner before you start writing in this month's. But yeah, I love a bingo. So a grounding activity. Y'all know that I always talk about we don't breathe enough and we don't stop. I mean, like we breathe, obviously, but we don't stop and have that intentional time of centering. And it is so good for resetting your brain, for hushing the cortisol and bringing about some calming things, some healthy dopamine, the serotonin, getting some kind endorphins in our body. So we're going to start off this evening by just taking, it's a whole minute and 49 seconds of just breathing. I have a mantra that's repeated. I'm going to ask you to get comfy in your seat or your wherever you are. Get comfy, relax, check your shoulders, start doing that body scan where you go head to toes or toes to head. What do you need to release? And Andrea, no, going night night. It is not it is not sleepy time now. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to just play this mantra. Feel free to sing along. Feel free to take some really slow, deep breaths, maybe box breathing where you're in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, wait for 4, and then repeat. Let's just be real mindful and kind of bring ourselves to this moment that we are carving out for each other.
Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out. Breathe it in, let it go.
Oh, thank you for taking a moment to breathe. Yes, Kimberly, this is beautiful chorus, and I highly recommend if you are trying to get some rest and you feel restless at night, just any of these repeated mantras that they do is so soothing. So yeah, so hopefully this was a good little moment of doing a little checking in with self And now you're ready to dive into our opening activity. I'm going to invite you to find a blank space in your journal, and we are going to create our very own private group chat for our mind. And so let me go through a couple of slides first so you'll kind of get a gist of what we're doing. The members of this group chat are logic. That's the logical part of your brain that has the facts, the plans, the overthinking, the spreadsheets, all the to-do list. The another member of your group chat are your feelings. They're doing the vibes. They're the ones who are up and down and loud and quiet. We've got the public you. That's the polished, I'm good, I'm fine version. People ask my husband often, how are you today? And he'll say, unbelievable. And they'll say, oh, that's great. And he'll say, is it? Because we are so used to just giving that public answer, I'm fine, I'm good, when we're really not. Sometimes people will say, how are you doing? And I'm like, do you really want to know? Or do you just want me to say I'm okay? Honest you. Like, who is the one in there whispering the real stuff? And then the final member of this group chat is your energy level. That little battery. Are you thriving or are you not are at 9%? So I'm going to invite you to write down those members of the group chat. And I want you to think about which or who, what member is sending the most messages lately? Is it your emotions? Is it your energy level? What is that looking like? What are you seeing? What are you noticing? And who keeps changing the subject? What is that little voice in your head pulling you back from? If public you is being the loudest right now, what is honest you trying to say? Is honest you typing and then deleting? I always love those three little dots and we wait, right? And then think about what is your energy level, begging everyone to understand. So think about each one of these characters in your group chat. And here's what it could look like. Energy level may be saying, I literally cannot keep pretending that we're fine. Maybe your publicly you is saying, we are not talking about this right now. What are you protecting? Integrity might say, we said that we'd rest, but here we are double booked again. Your feelings may say, can somebody please acknowledge me? So think about what's been going on in your brain lately. I'm going to put on a little bit of music. There's a second part to this activity. So we'll kick off with just this. I'll go back and forth between the slides as you work on this. Do you wish you could mute some of those members of your group chat now that you're sitting with them and realizing what they're doing? We're going to now invite someone else in. We're going to invite Integrity to join into the group in this group. And my question to you, if Integrity joins this group as a brand new member, what is it going to call out? And then what would it applaud? If Integrity could pin one message at the top of this chat for the month, what would that be? So think about that. What is your integrity when you look at this? What is your integrity telling you to do? And then I'm going to give you also a bonus question of naming your group chat. Are you the inner committee? Is it the mood board meeting, brainstorm and overthink, the overthinking Olympics, growth and progress, survive and thrive? Think of a name for this group chat. I'm gonna put on just a little spot of music while you think about what your integrity group member would tell you to do. Here's what I love about this prompt tonight is that it is such a good picture of all the things that we are, right? And we look to the world one way, but we know inside we feel this way, and none of it is right and none of it is wrong. It's just it just is. It's who we are. I really love Gloria said sometimes I think my integrity would tell me to go have half a sandwich and take a nice nap. I love that. Just that little dose, like we kind of already know what we need, and that is that integrity that's living in your soul. So I thought this would be a just kind of a great little way to celebrate our mental health awareness during this month of May. And I hope that you found it valuable to look at those different points of view of who you are. Thank you for sharing, and I love your group chat names that are coming up. That would be a really fun thing to put in Sonder Club, and then people would be like, "Oh, I missed something really cool tonight." I love that. Healing chaos, Claire's inner mind chat, the many voices inside my head. Yes. So good. The me that I would be. The me that I would be. I love that flow. This is great. Chaos and coffee, or coffee and chaos. I like that, Andrea, for sure. It's kind of like, what would we put on a t-shirt? That might be another opening activity sometime. Alrighty, so thank you guys for embracing that. Let's take a look now at page 14, those integrity journal prompts. And as I said earlier, I'm going to break these down. Andrea, I didn't know if that was you or if you had a cat walking by on your keyboard. So on this page, we have some considerations for as we just kind of take a look at, our walk with this month's theme of integrity. And we're going to just start, I'm going to just break them down. And then what I did is I came up with some things to think about as we approach each one of these questions. So this first one is, what does living with integrity mean to you personally? Because it's going to be different for everyone. Describe what it looks like, feels like, and sounds like in your everyday life. I like when we can kind of embrace our senses. So I started thinking about how can we expand this out to really dig in. One thing is like look at the core values that you actually live by, not just aspire to. So like, I know that there are things that I believe or, that I feel is a core value, but maybe I'm not completely embracing it because it would cost something that I'm not willing to give up. I don't know. Some things to look at. Look at how your actions will align or misalign with those values, right? That's definitely a point of integrity. What are subtle everyday decisions that reflect your integrity, not just the big defining moments? And I was thinking about this one. I've been working on this content. Went to the grocery store and I was like, I'm a grocery basket returner, and that's real important to me that I park it back. I do that little act. And I thought, I wonder, what does that say about the things that I value? So think about those small actions that you have. Do sometimes, I don't always, I want a clean neighborhood, but sometimes I will pick up the trash that's not mine. Sometimes I just walk right by it. So, those subtle things can kind of tell you. Anyway, right. It is Daphne for sure that the basket returners. And then finally, think about how does living with integrity affect your sense of self-worth as well as how you trust in yourself. So let me just put on some music while we start digging in. And of course, Sounder family, you are invited to share what's bubbling up for you and the things that, come about as you're digging into this first question, because that may help with some clarification for someone else. just a reminder that when we are working on these prompts together, there's not a finish time. So you may get started, you may be taking some notes, you may be deciding to go over to a big O notes page and write these out. So hopefully this will kind of get your brain moving. The chat is just amazing. Some of the things that you all are sharing. So if you get a chance this evening, or like when if you've already done your bingo and we're doing the bingo, go back through and look at the chat. But yeah, there's messages that have been sent our way about what we are supposed to be and do and have, and this is what success looks like. And a lot of times that doesn't align with who we are. And we're slowly chipping out of those molds. Man, if I could know then what I know now, the decisions I would have made as a younger woman would have been, some of them would have been quite different. And I think it's important too, when you realize that you're out of alignment as you're working through this, the places that you're out of alignment, that costs, right? That costs us something. Someone wrote, I'm trying to go through the chat. It's so hard. Somebody said it's just eating me alive because I'm not in alignment, and so I've this constant inner turmoil, and it costs us something. So I love that we have kind of come out of these first few themes, and we're now looking at alignment after we've done integrity after we've done things like alignment. All righty, so. Let's look at the second question. It's how do you know when you're not acting in integrity with yourself? Are there physical, emotional, or behavioral signs that show up for you? So think about that self-talk. Some of you have already talked about that you feel out of whack. Um, what is it? What does your self-talk look like when you are living in integrity and when you're not? And then think about and you don't have to like answer all these questions. These are kind of those guiding thought things, inspiration. And then think, when is it hardest for you to live with integrity? And it might not be, I can think about the last boss I had was not someone with a lot of integrity, and that was hard. I mean, like I stayed firm in my beliefs, but it was hard, right? To live with integrity, knowing that I had to deal with that person. What situations challenge it or weaken it? When do you realize, what do you do when you realize you've acted out of integrity? And what do you do to make things right? Saying I'm sorry and truly meaning it, asking for forgiveness. Those are hard things, especially if you were never allowed to make mistakes and that wasn't okay. So there might be some family of origin stuff that shows up right there. What emotions tell you that you are on the right track? Like your peace, your clarity. You don't have that inner turmoil. And then if on the other side, what signal misalignment, guilt, tension, and what shows up first? Irritation, exhaustion, resentment, avoidance. And I know when I'm out of alignment, my stomach tells me that. I like physically feel it, and I have things that happen because I'm a mess, right? So think about how your body might react when a boundary is crossed. Think about those physical things. Do you get a tight chest or headaches? Do you suffer from migraines? Do certain things, situations spur those on? Do you just shut down? So lots of stuff with this question. I'll put on a little bit of music while you start tackling this one. And again, feel free to share as you're comfortable. Ooh, I'm always so honored to sit with y'all. And, when you're comfortable to drop things in the chat, it's so empowering for each other. And Grace, I love that you are sharing, that this is scary and you trying to fix things and you think you're sick to your stomach. And I just want to applaud you as well as everybody else. Like, we're here and we're showing up and we're trying to learn and figure out more about who we are, which will then make these hard, scary things a little bit easier when we are better aligned with who we are. So I am so proud of all of you for just being here together, doing the work, and supporting each other in the beautiful way that you are tonight. Our final question is, what boundaries do you need to reinforce or create? Maybe you're like, what boundaries? Maybe you need to create some to honor your integrity. And what does that look like? So think about how can you lovingly uphold those boundaries even when it's uncomfortable. So some things to consider as you approach this prompt. How do you know that a boundary is needed? Take a look again at that physical feeling, what's going on emotionally, mentally, physically. How do you reset after boundaries have been crossed or you've overextended yourself? You haven't honored your boundaries. Where in your life do you consistently overextend or people please? Anyone? 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 Such a people pleaser. What do those situations have in common when you overextend or people please? No is a complete sentence. Again, remember I was talking about young me? Oh, if only I had learned that. What are you afraid will happen if you set a clear boundary? Is it rejection, conflict, disappointing someone, losing approval? And you could even go deeper and then ask yourself, well, why am I worried about that? And then ask yourself why again. I've talked before about the five whys, and you just keep asking yourself why and answering it, and ask why again, and really deep dig. How does setting or not setting boundaries affect your sense of self-respect and integrity? And when you say yes to something, what are you often saying no to? And vice versa. Because for every no, there was a yes, and for every yes, there was a no. And how do you weigh that out? What happens when you say yes or you say no? So think upon those things as you work on this prompt. I wish we were just in this huge room with a ginormous table that 100 people could sit at, and then we would all have an opportunity to talk to each other. Gloria wrote, well, Grace said boundary is needed when friends wrong you and disappoint you for sure. And then Gloria kind of added on to that as she says, I realize at this stage of my life you can outgrow friendships, and it's a tough realization because I'm a fiercely loyal person. And I wanted to point that out, Gloria, because I bet like loyalty is an important core value for you. And so when you look at that, because I too am very loyal and like at all costs, I'm on your side. And it's really hard if that's not a healthy relationship anymore, right? Like, if you're not able to do boundaries and all that stuff. So it's just so much. Y'all have such good words. So yeah, but when you always go back to look at your core value, then you'll realize why it's so out of alignment, right? Because it's not who you are. When it's really uncomfortable, it shows you that it's not in alignment with your core values. Therefore, your integrity is being kind of put through the ringer there. So, I wish it were so easy and we could wave a magic wand. So, I leave you with these ponderings tonight. And I want to make sure that we do have time to kind of address our little bingo card for the month. But continue to share in the chat the things that are coming up for you because we don't have to be done with these prompts. You can still work on that. If you've done your bingo, that's fine. But I did want to talk about a bingo a little bit before we close out our time. And then I'll put on some more music and give y'all a chance to finish up talking to each other or asking questions. Or, if you're sitting here thinking, gosh, but I feel so misaligned here. And what do you think I should do? Do that, put that in there. Okay, I've got some fun examples of bingos to show you. We'll end on a little lighter note. You can check out the bingo boards on the Silk and Sonder app. Create a themed board like spring or self-care or cleaning, decluttering, what I choose. A relationship bingo, field trips that you want to take, hobbies you want to work on. So I love a themed bingo board. Maybe you are starting to get ready for summertime, and you'll think about maybe your summer commitments or summer plans or vacationing, and this could budget. How can, we start getting ready for summertime? A photo challenge. Maybe you do a photo a day for 25 days. Reading book chapters is a good one. Leaning into your five senses. And I've got some really fun things to show you here with that. You give each column its own theme. I've got an example of that. Steps to gaining new skills. Maybe you want to learn something, so you just break it down into the minutest little skills and you check those bingo scores off as you get more proficient and you go along. Maybe you do some journal use tracking here. So you hold yourself accountable for checking in with your intentions or looking at your habit tracker or looking at your stop, start, and continue space. And so you fill this with all those spaces there and you mark that off. Week 1 setup, week 2 setup, week 3 setup. Maybe some foods you want to eat. Maybe you want to embrace different, embrace the rainbow, scavenger hunt. Okay, so a lot. Here are some of the bingo challenges in Sonder Club. So the way you find them is you just open up Sonder Club, you go all the way down to the bottom where it says games, click on that, and you can join any of these bingo challenges and you can transfer any of these ideas onto your own personal bingo card. So that's kind of fun. Here are just some random, put the things that you need to do. I wanted to point the one on the right out. They want to go to Sunday service, 5 Sundays. So they've repeated some of these things within their board. Monday night is with it says Regan or Regeneration. I'm not sure if this was one of your old ones. Let me know. Some prayer services in there. So things can show up more than once, or they can just be lovely little things like dance in the sprinklers and do an act of kindness and pick up litter. Um, this one on the left, that is tied into this person's intentions page. So you can see their spiritual intention, relationship intention. What did you write on that intentions page when you set that up? Maybe you can put some bingo items there and hold yourself accountable for digging into those things. And then I have just kind of a beautiful graphic there of motivational bingo. And it's just lovely things. Try a new hobby, read some poetry, start a journal. You could mark that one off. Let's see. Use those stickers up. And I just thought the one here on the right was really pretty. That was during our month of play many years ago. And I loved how the wiggly lines are there and how they're coloring it in and marking it off. Here are the ideas for categories. So the one on the left is an old one of mine, and I did a food and drink category, a create kind of a hobby category. So there's five things under each one: food and drink, create, self-care, outside, media. All righty. And then the one over on the right, the same thing, only it goes across. So they did mind, a treat, body, persevere, and spirit. And so those were the things that they were working on that month. So you can kind of label each row or each column, just if that makes it easy for you. You don't have to fill out every one of the boxes like the one on the left there. And then this one on the right, they were just eating different kinds of food throughout the month and did some really cute little doodles. And I love a good doodle. This one is kind of fun, and it's an old one that I've pulled up, but I love it. They gave themselves three wild card spaces. And then when they did the thing, they wrote down at the bottom what their wild card was. So I kind of thought that was a fun, spontaneous move to, keep that board a little light. Maybe you need to give yourself some grace. And so I love a grace space. And when you are having that self-talk that's not so friendly, you give yourself some grace and shut it down and go mark that off. And then there's a lot of fun ways to get bingos if you want to play with your bingo board a little bit. And remember how you do four corners or make the X or do a T. So that could just make that a little more fun. Here is a spring bucket list bingo that I thought was so pretty, and a spring break bucket list and a summer bucket list. So both of those things are kind of seasonal, and that would be fun. Gretchen Rubin, we love Gretchen Rubin. This is her Clear the Decks bingo, and it's all about cleaning and sorting and just feeling good. And so lots of grown-up things are on here, like make an appointment you've been putting off. And if you can Google Gretchen Rubin, and if you put your email address, you'll be able to even access that. And then this is the bookish edition of this bucket list I've been sharing in my weekly setups, but you could make it centric to your bingo. So let me put on just a little bit of music and I'll scroll back through these. And if you saw something you liked, grab a screenshot, but also remember this is being recorded and you can grab that. And you can also keep talking about our prompts tonight, and then we'll close down. There is not an example of a birthday bingo, but Kimberly is going to do a birthday bingo. And so she is asking for ideas if y'all want to drop some fun things in the chat. And Kimberly, I was looking at this play bingo. That could be a fun one. Dance in a lobby, compliment a stranger. This person loved to dance on a table, dance on a hiking trail, kiss a puppy. That's a fun birthday one. Photobomb a friend, buy someone a free coffee. So lots of fun things there. So you might want to grab the recording and look at that play bingo. There's some fun stuff there. But y'all keep dropping them in the chat before we go, and Kimberly can grab some of the things that she might like to use for her birthday bingo. And I can, just do some wear. Oh, one of the ones that I always do is I wear my favorite color, which is or I like to like this color, this corally orange. I always try to dress like that when I have my birthday. So wear your favorite color. Maybe clean out your purse. There's lots of things to do. Okay, y'all. So you can take Sonder Coach for a quick little personalized spin if it's new to you. Monica's going to go grab that link and she'll drop it in the chat if you are curious, Coach Curious. And then, of course, share your pages or share your thoughts about tonight. Maybe share the name of your group chat. People be like, what? But we'd love to see that. And then my playlist is humongous tonight, but it's my integrity playlist that I have for this month. So if you wanna go follow that one, I'm on Spotify, and I'll drop that link there. And I do want to thank you all for a great time together and for supporting each other so beautifully. If you're watching this in on the recording, we're so glad that you took time to do that as well. I send you a lot of light and love, Sonder family. See you soon.